Hi everyone. What you're looking at here is the speedo drive from my Land Cruiser's gearbox. Now, ever since I've had it, I've noticed a clean oil leak at the end of the transfer case, and I was convinced that it was one of the seams, because the gearbox is bolted together in sections. I was convinced that one of the seams was leaking, and I could never find where this was coming from. But since the car is back on the road again, I decided to give the gearbox an absolute thorough cleaning. So I wiped it clean with a rag. The gearbox itself is pretty clean. I will show you just now or later on when I put this unit back in. The gearbox is pretty clean, but I could never fathom out where this oil leak was coming from. So last week Saturday, I needed the vehicle, so I wanted to use it. So before I did, I took a rag and I cleaned that gearbox bone dry everywhere. And after I came back from using it on Saturday, I jumped underneath it quickly and I had a look and I found where the oil was coming from. As you can see, over here is an O-ring that seals the speedo drive in the gearbox. Now this is the O-ring that came out of it. Okay, it wasn't broken when I took it out. It actually broke while I took it out, but you can't really see from this, but this O-ring is not round anymore. In cross-section anyway. It's round as you see it there, but in cross-section, I don't know if I can open this up. I can't focus on the end there, but it's not round anymore. It was squashed this way, and it is as hard as anything, and that's why it broke when I took it off. So I went around this morning looking for an O-ring. I wasn't going to go to Toyota because I'll probably wait a week for it. So I just went around to the different seal shops until I found somebody who can help me. So I packed in about $30 in my pocket, expecting to pay at least $20 for an O-ring. I ended up finding a place. A lady helped me out, and a new O-ring, the one you see right there, cost me R2, which is next to nothing. I was actually pleasantly surprised. So I'm going to stop this now. As you can see, I've already put the O-ring on. This is the speedo sensor that goes onto the end of the speedo drive. And as you can see, the previous guys who worked on it have broken the plug, although it still works. The clip that holds it on now is broken. So I'm going to have to find another way to actually hold it on there. I know it works, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. This little pin plugs into that little hole there, the thin end of it anyway, and that little key there goes into or slides into the key that you can see there, and that's what drives it. And this is just a spacer that goes on the end of this, or inside the end of the cap. I'm going to stop this and then I will show you underneath exactly where this came out and where it was leaking. The previous owners must have known about it because this unit was stuck into the recess that it goes into with silicone sealer, gasket maker, and it still leaked. So yeah, not a very good job, but I'll fix it up, and I'm pretty sure it's not going to leak again after I put it back in. Right, welcome back to the underside of my car. What you're looking at right now is the recess or the hole where the speedo drive plugs into. And as I said to you before, the previous guy who put the slot together shoved it in there. Although it did have the O-ring on, the O-ring was hard and squashed, out of shape. And they'd shoved it in there. They obviously knew that there was a leak because they'd shoved the speedo drive in with silicone sealer to try and seal it. Now, for the sake of a R2 O-ring, they made such a mess of it. And it's now taken me half a day to go and scrounge a O-ring somewhere and then to put this thing back in. But anyway, that's besides the point. I'm now going to stick the speedo drive back in again. Let me just take the sensor off it. I have it screwed on for the time being. Okay. There's the sensor. I've now just put a little bit of oil over the O-ring and the recess it goes into. Let's just make sure that is oily. Okay. I just need to get that back into there. And then we just need to put a little bit of pressure on this. There we go. Now the the keeper literally, just get hold of it here, the keeper slips into a slot on the side there, and then just tightens up there. Let's get the ratchet. Now I'm working left-handed, and my left hand is one of the dumbest hands on earth. Okay, there we go. She's now in, and I'm pretty sure I'm not going to get any leakage from that ever again. So what I'm going to do now is just plug in my little drive rod into the plug, if I can just get it in once again with my left hand, and the little spacer, let's go in there. Okay, now we need to align this the best I can, and then just get that in there and screw that right. The threads have taken. Okay, I'm going to need two hands for the next bit. I'm just going to nip this nut up just tighter than finger tight with a pair of pump pliers. I just cannot do it tight enough by hand. I don't want it to come loose again. I'll keep this facing vertically as high out of the way as possible, and then I'm just going to nip that up. So I'm going to say goodbye for a second, and with the magic of editing, it is now tight, and I can plug the plug back in again. Just get this lined up properly. There we go. Like I said before, the previous guy broke the plug, so the clip that holds this on now is broken. So hopefully that's not going to come off. At least if it stops working, I know where to look. And there we go. The speedo drive is back in, and hopefully my leak is now solved. We live in hope.